I hate to say it, but things are going from bad to worse here in the United States. States are already saying that they are under attack, and they are calling for their National Guard to actually be deployed. But things are going from bad to worse, like I just said. One state has already deployed their National Guard to another state to help them with this migrant crisis. We also know one governor has already approved temporary government jobs for migrants, and another governor is actually closing a community rec center in order to house migrants, which then they say later on they will open up that rec center in June. So they're going to close it down for several months to help out illegal immigrants. But now migrants are also saying that there's too many migrants. The United States should now shut the U.S. border. Things are getting very interesting, but as of right now, the Biden administration still does not have a handle on it. So I will address what's going on here in just a moment. All I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So you know things are bad when migrants are coming out and telling reporters that the migrant crisis is getting so bad that the United States should shut the United States border at this moment. But why would migrants say that? Well, it's very simple. Migrants are now starting to see they're competing for the same shelter, same food, same healthcare, same everything as all the other migrants. And because there's so many people coming into the United States right now, it's turning into a crisis. One city even had to keep the police department around the shelter at night because they were seeing fights break out because people were wanting to get others out of the shelter so they can get their family inside. That's how bad things are getting. But look at this. Governor Ron DeSantis, he's sending Florida State Guard to combat the Texas border invasion. He's not the only governor that has said they are willing to send their National Guard. Multiple states have said the exact same thing because even though this is seen as a Texas problem, this is more than Texas. It's Texas, it's California, Arizona, Colorado, we know Illinois, New York, many other states, including Washington State. I don't talk about my own state that often, but I'm going to do that in just a moment because what is happening is impacting us here, and it's now starting to make national news. Before I get to that, I want to show you this. The South Dakota governor, Governor Noem, seeks to bolster Texas security efforts at the U.S.-Mexico border. Says Noem has criticized the conditions at the Texas border, stressing the threat posed by Mexican drug cartels. Not only are we seeing there's limited resources here in the United States when it comes to shelter, when it comes to food, right, and things like that, there's something that is not in limited supply, and it seems like it is everywhere, and it's hurting millions. It is fentanyl. That is what she is wanting to stop, because what we are seeing is drug cartels are now using many of these illegal immigrants. They're now coming in here, and they are considered a mule. They're simply delivering a product here into the United States. She says we need to stop this. But I want to explain what's going on in Washington State because this is too close to home because I've stayed here before. Now, look at this. It says 90 migrant families get 1 week extension in a Kent hotel. It goes on to talk about how there are these families, dozens from Venezuela, and they are now being evicted from this Quality Inn in Kent. Kent, Washington is very close to Seattle. It's right there next to Tukwila, to Renton, things like that, right in between Auburn, whatever. Anyway, I've stayed at this hotel many times in the past. I know exactly where this is. I know where the people were moved from a tent city in a nearby area. Okay, this is too close to home. 90 families, and I bring this up because I live in Washington State. That's not a border town, southern border town. It is a border town, but we border Canada, not the U.S. southern border. Okay, we're not California, not Arizona, not New Mexico, not Texas. We are a little ways above, and yet people are making their way into Washington State. And the issue is it's because of our current minimum wage That's a huge factor. And we are a pro-immigrant state. Okay? Again, we're a democratic state. Another state that's a democratic state is Colorado. Look at this. Colorado, okay, or Denver, prepares to discharge migrant families from shelters. Advocates say it's time to stop allowing more people to come to the city. It says on Monday, 150 people will be discharged when the city resumes enforcing length of stay policies. Hundreds more will be kicked out in the coming weeks. This is a concern, and this is where migrants say, well, how can we be kicked out? How can we be evicted? We came here, we were here first. You cannot take this from us. You can't take our shelter. This is all we have. Well, when you talk to the American people, the citizens, the taxpayers, they say, how can you kick us out of a school? How can you kick us out of a hospital? We cannot come and get aid. We cannot come and get health care because, well, you have too many illegal immigrants here seeking the exact same stuff. But they are now being prioritized. This is where we say these states are now under attack. Experts are telling us our states are under attack, and this is why the National Guard could potentially be deployed to many states, not just the southern border. I want to show you this as well. South Chicago. Okay, I think this is interesting. It says Chicago delays evicting over 5,600 migrants from shelters until March as city scrambles to find additional housing for flood of arrivals from southern border. It says more than 35,000 migrants have been sent to Chicago since 2022. It says Chicago has also twice delayed enforcement due to weather concerns, and Democratic mayors of large cities are struggling to handle the migrant surge. That's exactly right. These Democratic mayors are now calling for the Biden administration to give them additional resources, give them funding, right? Hire more judges so that they can process these asylum claims quicker. And granted, not all these people are asylum seekers, but let's get through the process faster because that's the only way we can make this work. Well, here's the thing. There's so many people that are here in the United States illegally. There's two options. One, we get them to allow them to get a work permit sooner, which the Biden administration says they're attempting to do that. The second thing is deportation. You send them back to the country that they came from. Now, here's something I think is somewhat scary. New York City is now stating, this is according to the mayor's report, New York City homeless shelter population surges by 53% just during this migrant crisis. Here's the thing. Homeless people that go to shelters, guess what? They are now being asked to leave because there's not enough room. Okay? And these are veterans. These are that have been taxpayers at some time. Not all of them, but many were taxpayers. These were veterans that fought in wars for us, the United States. And now they're being asked to leave that shelter because there's just not enough space. Come back tomorrow. Come back next week. That's what they're being told. Well, here's what, again, I think is very interesting. What are these democratic cities doing? Well, here's what Boston's doing. And Boston residents are raging over the fact that the governor is closing a community rec center in order to house migrants. Now, they say they don't care about us, but Massachusetts intends to reopen the facility to the public in June. So they're going to close it right now. They're going to close it. This is February 1st, so happy February. So we got all of February, we got all of March, right? We got all of April and May. It's going to open in June, so about 5 months away. What are all these community members supposed to do? For many children, a rec center is all they have. That is all they have. Now, this is turning into an issue. But like I said, and this is where this is happening just now, and this is somewhat concerning to millions and millions of people. Look what New York is considering. New York is considering relaxing work qualifications for thousands of jobs to hire migrants. That's interesting, right? Well, look at this. This is what I think is very interesting. Right now, Governor Kathy Hochul, okay? She's the governor of New York. She approved temporary government jobs for migrants. I want to read you some things on this. It says, hotel owners and restaurant owners coming to me. Can you send me some of the migrants up here? We need them. I hear this in every corner of the state. That's what she said on Tuesday. Now, I want to read you this. Hochul is eyeing 4,000 entry-level posts that are currently unfilled within state agencies, including clerical or administrative roles, technical support, equipment service, and repair and food services. Now, here's what I think is interesting. And I want to talk about this, technical support. One of the things that we talked about just earlier on today is an FBI warning that the FBI director, Christopher Wray, has stated that China is preparing to wreak havoc on the United States because China is preparing for an eventual war with the U.S. They don't want to go to war. The United States does not want to go to war with China, but both countries are preparing. The United States is trying to build a very strong military. China, on the other hand, yes, they're still trying to build a strong military, increase their military personnel, but they're also attempting to hack into our infrastructure. These transportation, our waterways, our water treatment facilities, okay, power grids. This is what they're trying to hack into. And now Governor Kathy Hochul says, we want to fill these roles with illegal immigrants, okay, or migrants, she says. And potentially in a technical support role or equipment service, depending on where. It's interesting. But I think this is something that we can kind of look forward to, right? Are we going to be attacked or not? And are our governors going to put people into these positions? Because here's the thing. We know there's people from China, people from India, people from Iran, people from, doesn't matter, Mexico, wherever, right? Not saying all these people are bad. Definitely not. The majority of these people are good people. But all it takes is one. The FBI and Homeland Security has both said all it takes is one bad actor. That's it. Let me read you what the mayor of New York City is saying. This is from Mayor Eric Adams. He says, I would love to get migrants and asylum seekers to help with the lifeguard shortage. We've been successful in getting almost 30,000 people to file applications, including work authorization, asylum, TPS. We want more. That's what he said Tuesday. He said, the key is to speed up the federal government's long process that greenlights work approval for the nearly 67,000 currently living in the city's care. The move could help the state labor department fill around 40,000 open jobs posted by private businesses, but they're mainly outside the Big Apple. So what he's saying is we could fix this lifeguard shortage. We could absolutely do that. We could fix the lifeguard shortage. We could fix the jobs, the labor shortage, right? That could easily be fixed. And just say everybody that has come into the United States, you all get a work permit. We'd be like Oprah. You get a work permit, and you get a work permit, and you get a work permit. But this is where Republicans say we are going. All it takes is, okay, now you get a work permit. Now you can vote. Now you get, right, you become a United States citizen. Perfect. Or we are just going to take all these people that are coming into the United States and say, if you join our military, because our military numbers, okay, our enrollment numbers are down. Ever since the pandemic and even years before that, our numbers have been dropping very consistently. We have heard from many lawmakers, let's give all these illegal immigrants, people coming into the United States that are military-age men and women, let's give them the opportunity to work for a citizenship and say, okay, if you want citizenship, you have to be in our armed forces for X amount of years. Here's the concern there. Are we putting people that are coming to the United States illegally and potentially coming to harm us, are we putting them into important positions and giving them access to military equipment and secrets? That's the concern. So, like states are saying, they feel they are now under attack. This is why they're saying the National Guard is soon to be deployed in many states. So, I just wanted to fill you in on what's going on at this time. Again, a lot of concerns happening right now. This is February 1st, 2024. So, happy February. But this is what we're going to be looking at moving forward. So, that's all I have for you guys today. Again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing. I'll see you guys on the next one.